American artists who sees their finished sculpture in a simple lump of clay, XTO Energy sees the hidden potential in every person and property that makes up this unique company. Using creativity, proven strategies, new technologies, and the ability to remain flexible in a changing industry, XTO has carried out a single vision over their 20-year history. Acquire premium properties and make them better. From humble beginnings started a journey that few at the time could have even imagined.
And I actually came to work here in Fort Worth for one of the banks, the Fort Worth National Bank. And I was there till about the beginning of '88 when I came to what was then Cross Timbers, now XTO. Funny story about that, when my wife and I told my father-in-law that I was leaving the bank and asked me where I was going, he said, well, you know, that's good. That was kind of really a bad time in banking in Texas, and the banks were going under. He says, you know, I'm really happy for you because things were a little shaky. Where are you going? Oh, a startup oil and gas company. He says, are you out of your mind?
Back then, everyone came to work without a salary. He had no salary, and the controller, Benny Niffen, and myself came to work in, I guess, April, and you know, without any salary until October, because they didn't really know if they were going to have a company. And then after that, it got better. You got a salary, but then you didn't get an office. And so some people that came used to have to sit in the hallway until they were here for long enough where we were growing fast enough where they got an office.
When I first came here, I thought I knew a lot at 28, right? You think you're pretty smart. And so I took this job, and these guys would take, Bob especially, would take more risk than I would personally. Okay, so he would, when he's doing an acquisition, he'd pay more than I might have thought he should have. Well, I'm the technical guy, the engineer, kind of looking at it going, well, I'm kind of scared. You're using the numbers I gave you, and you're paying more than I might think I would pay because I'm scared of, then I'm responsible, you know? And so he basically would say, look, you have to quit worrying about it so much, it's going to work out. And with time, he was right. He was smarter than I was. And I learned that, and now we have to teach it to each one of these guys as we go along.
And you have to be very agile and be able to change course compared to majors and very large companies. They set their course, they go one direction, and that's it. And with XTO, we've been able to alter that course to do that next acquisition.
And we change directions very quickly here and rapidly with what's really happening in the business world.
I think one thing that I got in life from growing up with very humble beginnings, including a small town and not much money, is it's not in my mind, it's only a short step back to there. I mean, I've seen a lot of people go from not much money to a lot of money, person's still the same. And so I think that's a lot of our success, is we have people that are stable, happy in their work, and they're not letting that go to their head.
The acquisition strategy we've had in this company really developed over a long period of time, including going back to the time period where Bob and others were at Southland Royalty. They were an acquisition company. And I think the thing they discovered was really maintaining the discipline to buy the right kind of assets. Don't buy things just because they're for sale, and buy the right kind of properties that you know are going to be around for a long time and have a lot of opportunities to exploit and add value. And that's been the key for us, and we've been able to do that consistently for a number of years.
The benefit of the strategy is that it's scalable. And if all you do is drill new wells, then your rate of decline increases. And ultimately, you can't drill enough good wells, or you can't generate enough good prospects for that to continue to fuel your growth. On the other hand, when you buy and develop properties, you can buy properties that have a low rate of decline, and so the process is more scalable.
That's what Bob, our CEO, is perfect at. He is very prudent with our equity, with our funds, and how we spend those, and to make sure that we buy the right thing that fits into this company and will take this company forward, and just not out there throwing money to the wind and buying anything that walks in through the front door.
This company buys acquisitions, buys oil and gas properties, makes them better. Now, we have bought so many excellent properties in the last decade that we're now making them better in larger and larger size. Theory's the same. where we used to spend $100 million making properties better, this year it's going to be in excess of $2 billion. But the people doing it are still have the same charge. Take that existing property and make it better.
The company knows its strategy. We put a lot of effort into conveying that strategy to the employees, and everyone is clearly focused on the goal that we have. And you think about some of the things we do, have management meetings at pretty significant expense twice a year. And those have evolved to include wives and now families. And some of our guys, it's about the only vacation they take. But that has allowed two things to happen. First of all, every employee should know what we're telling investors, what we're telling the owners of the company, what the goals are. Their families should know that, certainly the wives should, and everyone knows that their husband is not the only one that's working hard around here. And I think that's really improved the camaraderie of the company, because the families are part of the company.
In the hiring practices, we often look for people who don't seem like they're pressing just to get a bigger salary or bigger. What you're looking for is somebody who loves the business. And that's the kind of people we are, and I think that's who Bob actually started looking for, and the kind of people that we keep hiring.
I don't demand excellence. I expect it. But I expect excellence out of myself. I have people around me that expect it out of themselves.
We don't manage people. We find people who motivate themselves and leave them the hell alone.
And one thing we've done a really good job of is, if somebody comes up with an idea, it doesn't matter if it's a pumper in the company or a foreman, all the way up to the engineers and geologists or landmen, we will try that idea. We'll all talk about it, decide whether we want to do it or not as a group, and then we'll go try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But we were all on board. There's no second guessing about whether you're going to get shot because your idea didn't work.
What I tell people, both in business and a personal philosophy, some days the very best thing you got done, the very best thing, was zero. Because there were so many ways to go backwards that you resisted, both in your professional life and your personal life, that, cherish it, be proud of it, don't feel like you failed, because some days that's the very best thing you got done, and that's a form of discipline.
That's what we do, is we listen to what our people have to say, because they're in the trenches, and they're in contact with what's going on. So you have to listen. Like in anything, if you're a good listener, you're going to be a good leader.
We have a process called a wellbore review, where somebody from the top goes over every wellbore in this company. And so it's a very tedious process. We do it at least once a year, but we're looking for those ideas from the people who touch those wells. And that's worked real well.
You can be successful by motivating people for your own ends for a while, but ultimately you get found out. Well, wait a minute, you didn't really care about me. All you wanted for me to do was get this done for you. And those kinds of companies, you don't look around and see people have been there 15, 20, 30 years and working with the same people. And one thing about our company is that we all own stock, and management owns a lot of stock. And with one or two exceptions, our sector is not one that has a lot of ownership. It's run by managers. And that's not a bad thing per se, but it's a lot better for a shareholder if you've got someone with skin in the game. And if it's the entrepreneurial team that started the company, that's even better.
If you go back to when I first got here, it may have been a $25 million company or $15 million. Today it's 15 or 16 billion. And each at different periods we said, when we get to 200 million, we're going to have trouble. When we get to $1 billion, we're not going to be able to grow anymore. When we get to $2 billion, we're not going to be able to grow anymore. And the next thing you know, we're 15 or 16. And what's really kind of kept us going that direction is we've stuck to our guns. We've played a game of acquire and exploit, where you acquire a property that's a shallow decline rate property, and then you go in and drill wells, and that's where your growth comes from on the drilling side. We always hire in young people, and then they learn how we think. And because of these management meetings, because we all talk, everybody kind of gets used to the whole thought process. So you've been able to scale your people up as well.
It's still like a big family, even though it started very small. It's been very entrepreneurial. I worked for Exxon, which was one of the biggest companies in the world, and it was very, very political. And you could just see that you really didn't want to go through that process that you had to move up the line in Exxon. But as opposed to XTO, where again it's all about everyone contributing, everyone's opinion is important, and everyone's input is important. And again, just really kind of creating more of that family kind of feel, and everyone's been treated very, very well by the company, and we want to make sure that our employees are happy and always challenged, and that's never been a problem.
It's not the place to use your capital to build a big building, a monument to yourself. It's just a nicer family environment than a big shiny glass building.
It's really more of an appreciation of quality, things that are of quality, and the buildings that we have here in downtown Fort Worth are, some of the great old buildings, and we all think it's important to maintain those, and just the character and the nature of these buildings is just so much nicer. Maybe they're not as efficient as a modern skyscraper. I couldn't imagine now working in a 60-story glass tower at this point. I love to be able to open the windows when you want to.
You see most companies looking, well, what can we get from the city? What kind of tax abatements? What can we do if we were to build a building or buy this building? We need some help from the city. And you see that all the time. And really, what Bob said is, this is our neighborhood, and we want to live in a nice neighborhood.
We took down the landmark tower, which it was time for that to go. And so it's important to us to create the environment of what we live in to be like the environment that we're doing in exploration and production. And that's, buying those properties and making them better.
I think another way to enjoy what you do is, again, buying things and making them better, and that would include office buildings. And so we now own 3 buildings. We're about making them better. They're beautiful. It's a part of the past we're bringing back for the city and for ourselves.
I think part of this incredible journey has been able to work closely with Bob Simpson, our CEO. We all have learned so much from him, and he has really guided this company to the point where it is today. It is his doing, and his guidance has been beneficial for everyone involved.
Well, the company's still run, by the founder and by the entrepreneur who had the concept to do the company. And that's pretty unusual at the size we've gotten to be, because typically the skill sets are different. To have the energy and creativity to start something doesn't necessarily give you the stamina and the longevity to continue to grow something. And I think if you look at our company, look at the guys here, and especially Bob, that's probably the most surprising thing. And we run into investors all the time and said, gee, you guys, there aren't any ex-XTO guys that are running other companies or doing other things, because you've all stayed here.
Probably the smartest guy I've ever met. He's always 2 or 3 steps ahead, thinking about what's the next move, what do we need to do to make sure we position ourselves properly.
If you can be lucky enough, and that's what I've told my kids, if you can be lucky enough to work with people whose integrity and passion for caring about other people is there, then you don't ever have to look for another job.
If you take care of me, I'm going to take care of you. And so that is something I believe. And I think that's what maybe people feel that at XTO. I've always thought it was just a stunning piece of work. It's probably the favorite bronze I've ever seen, and much less owned. And it's something that I hope that people that get one take it as something personal, a token of thanks from me personally. It's going to mean something different to everybody that looks at it. Every time I look at that bronze, I feel better. And I hope that every time people think of their time with XTO, they feel better.
Yeah, and actually we often ask ourselves, at what point does it become boring for you? At what point do you get tired of it? And that hadn't happened yet because we've been able to buy such good properties and hire some really good people. And it's fun to watch people grow. And it's fun to watch how good a job they do if you just give them the responsibility and let them run.
Future's going to be good. The reserve base, property base that we have, will take this company out 10 years to phenomenal growth.
We have a leg up over anyone else in the industry. Our finding cost is half. With the drill bit finding cost is half the industry average. Our decline rate's half the industry average. And as long as we maintain those efficiencies, we've got a better formula.
It's been just a joy and a pleasure to work with such a great group of people. And I think the future's just great. I think we've got lots of things to do and lots of opportunities for everyone. So I'm excited about it. I think I can continue to do this for a long time because it's fun. I mean, in the bottom line, if it's not fun, you wouldn't be doing it.
Clearly focused, motivated, disciplined. These are the principles that have guided XTO through 20 years of unparalleled stock performance and growth. Like a sculptor who constantly refines their art, XTO will continue to improve as their vision for the future grows stronger than ever.
If you're new with us, I hope I've confirmed in your mind, or helped you confirm that being with XTO is the right decision. Yeah, for those who have been here for the 20 years, as wow, are you as shocked as I am about what we did together? And hadn't it been fun? And didn't you enjoy it? And I hope you had a successful family experience during this time as well. And I think that's what XTO is. It's just our extended family where we've had a lot of fun together. And we're going to have some more.
A great ride for me personally. I've got a great office, great employees. We have a lot of fun together. We do a lot of fun things, work hard, and have fun both. And that's the name of the game. Just enjoy your job and enjoy the company.
I've been in 3 different districts, and it's a consistent management philosophy of growing the company, making things work, empowering employees, and it doesn't change. There's subtle differences, but things keep going the same thing, and we keep getting bigger, and we do the same thing at the $1 billion level, and the $5 billion level, and the $10 billion level. And for the employees, it is just an awesome thing from where most of them come from. It's been very, very good for us, and I've just really enjoyed working here. So,
the focus of the company at the majors, you tended to want to switch your vision about every 6 weeks, it seemed like. And at XTO, it's been a constant vision. It's been a constant direction from senior management from day one. And I think that's a lot of what makes XTO what it is today.
One of the things that's always impressed me about XTO is the way they take care of their employees. I see that all across the board. For example, my wife was an RN for 6 different doctors in Oklahoma City in a clinic. And all the doctors commented, XTO takes better care of their employees than anybody we've ever seen. Their insurance is covers more things, and they're easier to get procedures approved. And but not just in the medical field. I've seen that many other ways, that it's just a caring organization, and that was true when the company was small. But as the company has grown, I've seen the same thing continue through, and that's been truly amazing. And I know it's supported from Bob Simpson on down to make that happen, but I really appreciate it, and I see no other company like it.
There's always a challenge. There's never a day where I can go home and say I'm done, because I'm never going to be done, and I don't think any of the people that work in our district's going to be done, and that may go across the company too.
There's plenty to do.
But he lied to Joy and I when he hired us in. He said, "Oh, there just won't. I don't know if there'll be very much for you to do.
You'll probably be bored."
Probably be bored."
We have not been bored.
No, we've not been.
Oh, happy birthday, XTO.